So we want to look at solving, solving radical equations. So we've already talked about this. This kind of, so more of a review. Again, a reminder that it is very helpful when you're doing this to know this expansion, perfect square trinomial expansion, how it works out, that pattern there. That anytime you have two things that are adding or subtracting, and you square it, then it's going to be the first part of that expression squared, and then you're going to multiply both parts of the expression times 2 in the middle, and then the second part of that expression squared. So you're going to get 3 parts of that new expression, and not just the front squared and the back squared, but you're also going to get this middle part. So just keep that in mind when you're doing these. So let's say I wanted to solve a problem that looked like 5 minus 2x minus the square root of 2 minus x equals 1. I want to solve that. So when we talked about square roots before, what we said is we need to isolate one of the roots. So I'm going to move this one over so that I get this other one by itself. And it doesn't ultimately matter which one you isolate, but I just make the signs work out nicer. I'm going to do it like this. Then to get rid of this square root, I'm going to square both sides. And on the left-hand side, that's going to work out nice. It's just going to get rid of the root and give me 5 minus 2x. But on the right-hand side, I'm using this expansion that I said we need to do. So it's going to be the first term squared. So 1 squared. That's going to be the first term times the second term times 2. So 1 times 2 times the root is going to be 2 times the root. And then it's going to be the second part of this expression squared. So square the square root, and you're going to get what's inside, 2 minus x. Now what I want to do is get this root part by itself. So I want to get rid of this 1. I want to get rid of this 2. I want to get rid of this x. So it says 5 minus 3 is 2. Negative 2 and 1x is a negative x equals 2 square root of 2 minus x. Now, I could get rid of this 2 by dividing, but that in this case, that doesn't really make the problem a whole lot easier. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this 2 connected. I just need to be aware when I square both sides again, because I'm going to want to get rid of this square root. When I do that, I have to square this 2 as well. So on the left-hand side, again, I'm back in this pattern here. First term squared, first term times second term times 2. So 2 times negative x times 2 is going to be a negative 4x. And then the second term squared, so negative x squared is positive x squared. Square this outside 2, you get 4. Square the square root, you get 2 minus x. So 4 minus 4x plus x squared equals, distributing 8 minus 4x. Probably want to get it equal to 0. That didn't go that well. Okay, subtract 8, add 4x. I'm going to rearrange this over here. The x squared first. 4x and the negative 4x are going to cancel each other out. 4 minus 8 is going to be a negative 4 equal to 0. Add 4. You could factor that, but, trying to do different stuff here, so take the square root. And don't forget, when you have a square and you put the square root on, you got to put plus or minus there. So these are possible answers. I do need to check them in the original problem and see if they work. So let's try positive 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. Square root of 1 is 1. 2 minus 2 is 0. So 1 minus 0, yeah, that works. Let's try negative 2. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Plus 5 is 9, which would make that 3. 2 minus negative 2 would be 2 plus 2, so 4. Square root of 4 is 2. So 3 minus 2 would be 1, so both work. Great. So just keep in mind this expansion here. That anytime you square and you have two terms, you're going to have to expand that out. And if it really, you're struggling with it, then remember you can always take something like this and write it as 1 plus the square root of 2 minus x times another 1 plus the square root of 2 minus x, and just FOIL it out, and you'll still get this expression. This is just a shortcut. If you have this pattern down, it makes it go a lot faster.